More than a month after shooting a man in broad daylight, a suspect is still on the loose, what police are now saying.
Also, the latest on a fire at a waste disposal plant causing millions of dollars in damage.
And later, officials are urging you to get your house checked for radon after a new study reveals some startling statistics. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. Nearly 6 weeks later, and police are still looking for the man suspected of shooting someone on State Street.
40-year-old Lamar Jefferson faces several charges, including attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Brady Mallory joins us with an update on this search. Brady?
Well, police identified Jefferson rather quickly, but we are still trying to get answers on why investigators haven't caught him yet. MPD says it's still searching for Jefferson, and at the time said they expected to arrest him quickly. According to the complaint, though, Jefferson and the victim were having an argument, and Jefferson shot the victim several times on November 29th. The victim did not die. Police say Jefferson has no permanent Madison address, which complicates the search. He does have ties to Madison, Milwaukee, and Chicago. The investigation is ongoing, and an MPD spokesperson says there are multiple resources devoted to finding him. Jefferson should be considered armed and dangerous, so if you see him, call 911 immediately. You can also share an anonymous tip with Madison area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014 or online at p3tips.com.
Brady, thank you. Madison police say a woman's car was shot while she was sitting inside it on the city's east side. This happened in the 4500 block of Village Lane Saturday night. The woman says she was nearly hit by a bullet. Multiple people reported hearing shots fired. The woman left the area but returned shortly after. She was uninjured, but her car was damaged. Police say the woman and suspected shooter know each other, and an investigation is ongoing. No injuries were reported after a rollover crash in downtown Madison this morning. This happened in the area of Langdon and Francis Streets around 8:45. A woman reported to police that her vehicle rolled over after it was rear-ended. Police said the driver of the other car involved left the scene but was later taken into custody. The crash remains under investigation.
Meanwhile, Fond du Lac police say a 15-year-old girl was among a group of young people who allegedly fled police in a stolen vehicle before being arrested. According to a news release, police tried to pull over a vehicle allegedly stolen out of the Milwaukee area. Instead, the driver of the vehicle drove off. Police say they reached speeds of over 100 miles per hour. Officers eventually used spike strips and stopped the vehicle on Interstate 41. The driver then took off on foot, but was caught. 2 other passengers were taken into custody. Let's check your certified most accurate forecast now. Here is Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Eric, the clouds are moving in, but that's nothing new. I mean, we've seen a lot of cloud cover over the last few days, and while we had some sunshine today, you can see that on the time-lapse from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam. You can see there were also some clouds, at least over southwestern Wisconsin, and those clouds started to thicken up as we headed towards sunset, but there's not much in the way of precipitation out there, just a few flurries up in the northern portion of the state. Visibility right now, 9 miles in Madison. We're starting to see some light fog develop. We'll see thicker fog overnight. We'll have to see if that becomes very widespread. But temperatures right now are generally above freezing, although Juneau and Dodge County is down to the freezing mark at 32. Watertown's at 33. Here in Dane County, Middleton's still at 38 degrees. It's 37 in Belleville and 37 in Sauk City. Look for skies to be mostly cloudy this evening. Some patchy fog possible. Temperatures holding nearly steady in the middle 30s, but we'll take a look at thicker fog and the possibility for some drizzle or freezing drizzle overnight. I'll have more on that in the forecast in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. Fire crews are investigating what caused a massive fire at a garbage collection plant in Walworth County. At least 18 different fire crews responded. It was at John's Disposal Services in Whitewater. When those crews arrived, one building was engulfed in flames. Officials say no employees were present when the fire was reported. No injuries have been reported. And tonight, officials say things are still smoldering. Part of that building has collapsed. We find our Armand Rahman live there now at John's Disposal. Armand, what are you learning about this fire?
Yeah, Eric and Charlotte, Whitewater fire crews were out here until just an hour ago, still taking care of those hot spots. The roads around the site are open, and the assistant fire chief says that there are no threat to the public right now, but his crews will be keeping busy here for at least a couple days more. Because of those hot spots, firefighters can't start investigating a cause yet, so it's unlikely they'll find one for some time. The assistant chief says they had a lot of challenges when they got here, the biggest being no source of water on the site. They had to use the neighboring power plant to help fight the fire.
So we ended up running supply lines over to their property, as well as having an engine in their evaporative towers that drafted the water underneath it, and then we ended up pumping the water over to our incident.
Helping with the response from more than 30 agencies from as nearby as LaGrange to as far as Dane and Kenosha County. And again, the chief said that there is no threat to the public right now, even when it comes to plastic materials that might have burned in the blaze. The DNR is monitoring runoff. Damage is likely to be estimated in the millions of dollars. For now, live in Whitewater, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
The Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs has a new leader who's also making history in the progress. James Bond, a disabled U.S. Marine Corps veteran who has worked at the department for years, is the first openly LGBTQ person in state history to head a cabinet agency. Bond inherits an agency that's been plagued by issues in its assisted living facilities and nursing homes. His appointment fills the gap left by former Secretary Mary Kolar, who retired earlier this month.
The 4 candidates running for the state's high court squared off today in the first forum before the primary. Conservative candidates Judge Jennifer Duro and former Justice Dan Kelly jockeyed to be the stronger conservative voice. This comes on the same day that retiring Justice Pat Roggensack, whose seat is on the April ballot, endorsed Duro in the primary. And we got a chance to hear from her why she chose Duro over Kelly, who she had served with.
I think she's a better candidate than he is. I think she's got broader experience than he does. You know, the only time he was a judge was with us, and that was for 4 years. She's been a judge on the circuit court for 11 years, and she's also served administratively in ways he hasn't ever done at all. So I think all of those things are important. As I said, we have 4 good candidates, but I endorse Jennifer.
The interesting thing about the primary is that the top 2 advance from the race regardless of party affiliation, so it's possible we could see both conservatives on that final ballot.
Almost half the homes in Dane County had high radon levels. That is according to public health officials after a 3-year study. Now, during National Radon Action Month, Andrew Banstra spoke to officials who are urging everyone to check your homes.
It's the second most common cause for lung cancer. The radioactive gas is widespread across Wisconsin, but can't be seen, smelled, tasted, and that makes it an invisible danger to your health. Here's what you need to know to protect your home. Herc and Lindsay Mefford have made it their mission to reduce radon.
As great as this job is, we meet lots and lots of great people. We've also, in 7 years of testing, we've also met a dozen people or so who only call us after their lung cancer diagnosis.
With health officials saying nearly 1 in 2 Dane County homes have high radon levels, what exactly is it?
Radon is a gas that forms in the soil from breakdown of natural soil minerals. Problem is that it is radioactive, and one thing we know about radioactive things is they don't do good things to our bodies.
Exposure to radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer nationally. About 1,000 Wisconsinites die from it each year.
And it's pretty easy. It takes just a couple minutes to set up, right? So
That's how Lindsay decided to start this business. Was we bought our first house in 2003 on the east side of Madison. And we didn't test our house for radon until 2014. And our house was 60 times higher than what you breathe outside. And within a year, my mom tested positive for lung cancer.
Testing is the only way to see if you're at risk. PHMDC offers a $10 do-it-yourself kit, or you can hire professionals like Lindsay and Kirk. The install only takes about 10 minutes and gauges your levels over a few days.
It's a very convenient test. You set it up in a spot where, in the lowest level of your home, where you spend at least 7 hours a week.
Once the results come back, you'll know if you need to take action, which involves funneling radon out of your house. Test again in 2 years, regardless of the outcome.
I went from a skeptic of testing every 2 years to a firm believer, and radon levels can and do change.
In Madison, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Now. For more information about radon in Dane County, head to this story right now on channel3000.com.
When we come back, Fisher-Price re-announces a recall for one of its baby products.
Plus, the FBI and other law enforcement agencies warn of a new online scam that's costing Americans billions of dollars.
We asked people to give their honest feedback on how wrinkles around their eye area and under-eye puffiness looked after trying Tint and Tighten for the first time.
So with foundation, normally it just kind of, you just cover up and conceal things. But with Tint and Tighten, it actually changes the way the skin looks. The lines are actually gone. So you don't get any of that buildup within them and the creases that you normally would see when you wear foundation.
40s is a bit of a shocker for me because 40s I noticed the skin under my eye is getting very loose, and then 50s hit and I'm 54 and I really noticed the difference in the firmness of my skin here and especially here. I'm glad there's products like Tint and Tighten out there so that I can just put this on and not worry about what I didn't do in my 40s, my 30s, and my 20s, and it looks like I always have. It's a pleasure and it's actually a gift for anyone.
Tint and Tighten shrinks under-eye puffiness, smooths out wrinkles and fine lines around the eye area, and provides tinted coverage to hide dark circles and skin imperfections, making you look fresh and younger. Tint and Tighten is the only cosmetic that blends a beautiful tinted cream to cover uneven skin tone and dark circles with silicate technology that smooths out under-eye puffiness and wrinkles, making the skin around your eye area look flawless for up to 8 hours.
I will be turning 59 in June of this year. Using Tint and Tighten, for me, I'm actually very confident right now that my wrinkles won't be as obvious. It is giving me the support that I think reminds me that I'm at my best right now.
Finally, there's a tinted eye cream to cover dark circles and uneven skin tone. And since Tint and Tighten works in 10 minutes and lasts up to 8 hours, you can look your best without getting injections or fillers. Get beautiful, lightweight, tinted coverage, plus that smoother, younger, wrinkle-free look from years past in 10 minutes. A look that will make you feel beautiful and confident. Try it this new year for only $19.95. Plus, get free shipping and handling. Visit tintandtighten.com or call the number on your screen.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. Law enforcement and federal regulators are issuing warnings for a new online scam. It's called pig butchering, where scammers convince people to invest in crypto or, quote, fatten up the pig. They then steal the victim's money and butcher off communication. Authorities say it starts with random texts or messages through social media.
Perpetrators of these crimes have been trained in techniques of psychological deception, in techniques to gain people's trust.
So what can you do to avoid becoming a victim? Law enforcement officials say scammers usually target their victims by sending mass texts, hoping someone takes the bait.
Fisher-Price is re-announcing the recall of its rock-and-place sleepers. At the time of the original recall in 2019, more than 30 deaths were reported to have occurred in the rock-and-place sleepers. Since that recall, approximately 70 additional deaths have been reported. The sleepers were sold at major stores nationwide, including Walmart, Target, and online at Amazon. Consumers should stop using the rock and plate immediately and contact Fisher-Price for a refund or voucher. It is illegal to sell or distribute those recalled sleepers.
John Deere now giving farmers the right to repair agricultural equipment on their own. That agreement, just signed yesterday, follows years of lawsuits and complaints. It means farmers can diagnose and fix their John Deere tractors without using company parts or facilities. The American Farm Bureau Federation says the agreement also protects John Deere's intellectual property. Still ahead, the generosity and compassion for Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin continues.
Also, the FDA looks into a new kind of treatment that could help prevent children from catching RSV.
Plus, it could be a quiet week of weather. Gary Canalti returns, and he has your complete forecast after the break.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each Butterburger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons, right?
Sadly, not anymore.
What? You mean...
Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Wow. So sudden.
We're not about to have the we need life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're having the we're getting coverage so we don't have to worry about it conversation.
So you're calling about the $9.95 a month plan from Colonial Penn?
I am. We put it off long enough. We are getting that $9.95 plan today.
Is it time for you to call about the $9.95 plan? I'm Jonathan from Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. Sometimes we just need a reminder not to take today for granted. It could be the death of someone you know or a health scare. That's why today could be a great day to call for free information about Colonial Penn's $9.95 plan. If you're age 50 to 85, you can get guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance starting at just $9.95 a month. There are no health questions, so you can't be turned down for any health reason. This is permanent coverage. Just pay your premiums for lifelong security. The $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life plan. Options start at just $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. Your rate can never go up. It's locked in for life. Don't put it off. Take the first easy step. Call today for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. So call now.
Call 1-800-290-3399 for your free information and free gift. That's 1-800-290-3399. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-290-3399. 1-800-290-3399. Call now.
Hello, Colonial Penn?
You are watching News 3 Now at 6.
It would be the first of its kind, a long-acting antibody treatment to protect against RSV in infants. It's now up for review by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Mandy Gaither has more on the therapy and a timeline for when it could be available if approved.
For months, RSV had a grip on the U.S. As cases rose, some pediatric hospitals were overwhelmed. But the latest CDC data shows the virus has peaked in the U.S.
RSV is down. That's good.
And now there's a potential therapy in our fight against future RSV cases in infants. The FDA is reviewing nirsevimab, a long-acting antibody for the prevention of lower respiratory tract infections caused by the virus. The first of its kind antibody would be administered as a single dose. In a statement, the companies that developed the therapy said the FDA has indicated it will work to expedite its review and approval could happen sometime this summer, adding, if approved, we believe nirsevimab may transform the medical community's approach to RSV prevention in infants, and we are committed to working with the FDA to support completion of the review as quickly as possible. Data from a phase 3 trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine found RSV infections requiring medical attention happened in 1.2% of infants who received the therapy, compared with 5% of infants who got a placebo. That means the treatment is more than 74% effective and no safety concerns were identified. I'm Mandy Gaither.
In November, the therapy was authorized for marketing in the European Union, and additional regulatory submissions for treatment are underway around the world. That's according to the companies that developed it.
We'll get to the complete forecast in just a moment, but we are absolutely thrilled to welcome back Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti to our set. Gary, it's just great to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. For those of you who didn't know, I've been off for the last 4 weeks. Unfortunately, my wife, Jean, passed away suddenly on December 10th, about 4 weeks ago on Saturday, and obviously a very big shock. But the outpouring of support from the people at the station, from the community, viewers on Facebook, Twitter, it's just been overwhelming. And believe me, I can't thank you all enough for your support. I mean, that really helped me and my son Chuck. We're getting back to a new normal, but we're moving forward, and things will be different. But without everybody's support, it would have been a lot tougher.
We have to say that Jean, wow, that line for the
2
visitation
hours.
and even for the funeral.
It was overwhelming, like I say, but it was so helpful to me and Chuck, to have everybody there. So
well, we're really happy to have you back.
Yes, and it's nice to be back, and
you got to get back in that routine,
yeah. And
right?
Fortunately, the weather's quiet right now, which is a good starting point for me, so I can kind of ease into things. Yeah, well, three things you need to know in the forecast. Things really haven't changed very much. We got plenty of clouds. Fog will become likely overnight. We've seen that on a few nights so far. And there could also be some drizzle or freezing drizzle later on tonight. Still kind of iffy, but temperatures will drop just below freezing. And so when that happens, you could see a little bit of freezing drizzle. But mild weather will continue. Even though temperatures will be below freezing, they'll be above normal. In fact, the average high temperature is in the upper 20s. We're going to be in the 30s to around 40 degrees for the next 10 days. So that mild weather continues. As we take a look at visibility right now across Wisconsin, you can see generally between about 5 and 10 miles. There are a few places where the visibility is a little bit lower than that, but we'll see the fog thicken up somewhat overnight. So that's something to keep an eye out for. The Pacific Ocean still remains very active. Look at these powerful storm systems. One in the Gulf of Alaska heading toward the western United States, another one slamming the west coast right now. But what's happening is the jet stream is splitting. So a lot of this moisture either goes to the north or goes to the south, and the mild weather will continue because the main part of the jet stream is around us or just a little bit up to the north. And even when the winds, upper level winds come in from the northwest, they're not coming from central Canada. They're coming in more of a westerly direction, bringing in milder Pacific air. So even behind these weak cold fronts, temperatures only drop down by a few degrees. Today we're ahead of the cold front, winds are out of the south, and the other factor is that when we have winds out of the south, they're coming off of ground that has little or no snow cover. To the north and west, it's a different story. Over 2 feet of snow on the ground through northwestern Wisconsin and eastern Minnesota, back toward the Twin Cities, about a foot of snow from eastern South Dakota through the western UP of Michigan. But as long as the winds don't come in from the northwest, our temperatures are going to stay mild. And right now, those winds are out of the south, and that's going to keep our temperatures up at least for the foreseeable future. Planning your night, look for a low temperature of 31 in Sun Prairie, 30 in Fitchburg, 31 in Belleville. Again, some fog and maybe a little drizzle or freezing drizzle overnight. Low 32 in Janesville, 30 in Monroe, and 30 for the overnight low temperature in Baraboo. Tomorrow, variably cloudy skies, maybe a little bit of fog in the morning, but it won't be quite as mild. High temperature at 35 degrees, and we're looking at the 7 to 10 day forecast for temperatures that will be above normal. Look for just a bit of a drop in temperatures for the latter part of the week. Maybe a little bit of light snow on Sunday or Thursday morning south of Madison, and then some rain mixing with snow before ending, and then another chance for rain or snow about Thursday of next week.
Football fans and just plain folk are continuing to show their love for Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin by donating to his toy drive for kids. Money has poured into the fundraiser since Hamlin's cardiac arrest last Monday. And right now, donations have topped $8.5 million. Hamlin started the toy drive last year as a way to give back to his community.
Well, it's our top sports story of the day. The Packers falling short on the head to the playoffs in the regular season finale. We hear from Matt LaFleur in his end-of-the-year presser coming up in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
This is the house that angels built. Attic Angels Senior Living Community is built on a foundation of authentic, local care. A framework for living well. Windows to take in the beautiful future. And is crowned by the pride that one's home is one's castle. This is the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living. Built with the help of angels.
There's nothing like volunteering at the fire department.
There's nothing like hitting the waves.
But with my moderate to severe eczema, it hasn't always been easy.
Since my skin was so irritated and itchy.
And even worse with all my gear on.
Now, I'm staying ahead of my eczema.
There's a power inside all of us to live our passion. And Dupixent works on the inside to help heal your skin from within. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema. So adults can have long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor.
Healing from within is a powerful thing.
Ask your eczema specialist how Dupixent can help heal your skin from within.
The local water experts at Culligan can take care of everything but the kitchen sink. Actually, we do that too. Culligan, here for every water worry.
Cold winter weather's here, so why feel it inside your own home and in your wallet? USA Insulation's premium injection foam fills every crevice of your walls, even going over your existing inferior insulation. Our foam gives you high-tech comfort and saves you money on utility bills year-round. So stop bundling up and start building savings. Call now and get up to a 30% tax credit and low monthly payments.
USA Insulation.
More online retailers are offering buy now, pay later options, and it sounds pretty tempting, right?
Tomorrow we'll explain some risks you need to know before you check out.
Generally quiet and mild weather will continue. Join us tomorrow between 4:30 and 7.
It's not the day that the Packers envisioned they would have after preparing all week for their win-and-in scenario. Instead of getting ready for the first round of the playoffs, the team spent the afternoon cleaning out their lockers. Now, several mistakes ended up costing them the game last night with the Lions, which it's going to sting for a long time. Matt LaFleur holding his end-of-the-year press conference tonight. Now, one area that he really harped on was the fact that no one on the team pointed fingers when they hit their really low points during this season.
I think that does say something about the character of the people that we have. Certainly we got to perform better, but I was proud of the fact that the guys stayed together and they stayed committed. I thought we did a lot of great things throughout the course of the week in our preparation and how we competed in practice that started to show themselves on the field. That's got to be the starting point, and we can't forget the lessons that were learned along the way this season.
Quay Walker also apologizing today after being ejected in last night's game when he shoved one of the Lions team physicians. Today he posted on Twitter saying, "I reacted off my emotions again and take full responsibility of making another stupid decision." This was the second time that Walker had been ejected this season. College Football Hall of Fame selections have come out today, and a former Badger is on the ballot. Troy Vincent, who headlined Barry Alvarez's early years as UW's head coach, has been selected. In the red and white, Vincent had 192 tackles, 31 passes defended, plus 4 picks. He also shined as a punt returner with 66 for almost 800 yards, with 3 of those resulting in touchdowns. After his time at UW, Vincent had an impressive pro career that spanned 16 years. An ugly loss over the weekend has knocked the Badger men's basketball team down 4 spots in the AP Top 25. They're now coming in at 18 after falling to Illinois on Saturday. And things were just not going the Badgers' way against the Illini. For starters, having to account for Tyler Wall being out with his injury. And on offense, their shots just weren't falling. Defense let up a few times, allowing Terrence Shannon Jr. to score 24 points. But the Badgers are ready to shake it off and get back to their brand of basketball.
Just kind of trying to stick to Wisconsin basketball, get back to what we do, our principles, our game plan, our preparation, trust in that. So really just toning things up like that and locking stuff like that up in practice.
We're just going to be the more physical team. We always try to be, and then just play our style of basketball, which is Wisconsin basketball. Just touch the post. Like I said earlier, the defense and the communication is big for us. So I think those 3 things will help us get a win.
All right, Jordan, thank you. Gary with a final check.
Yeah, watching some fog. Right now, visibility is not too bad, generally between about 5 and 10 miles. We'll see the fog thicken up overnight. Temperatures are above freezing now, but when they drop below freezing later on tonight, could see some freezing drizzle mixed in with drizzle.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.